Welcome. Today we will take the next step in learning this sugya. We will learn the Gemara's Kosha and teirutz concerning Rava's first teirutz. To review, Rava explained the Mishnah as follows. Through Kinyan Meshicha, the Nifkad retroactively buys the para itself from Shat Mesirah, and as the owner of the actual para, the Nifkad is entitled to any future zchuyot. This explanation was necessary in order to address the challenge of Efshar lahaknot davar shelo ba לעולם. Now the Gemara introduces another Kosha Hegioni with the function word matkif. Matkif la Rabbi Zera. Rabbi Zera brings a logical challenge. Ihachi, if Rava's answer is so, afilu gizoteha uvlodoteha nami. The nifkad who owns the animal from Shat Mesirah should also own any wool or babies that the animal produces after Shat Mesirah. Alama Tanya, why then does it state specifically in the Braita, chutz migizoteha uvladoteha, that the animal owns what will come from the animal except for that which the animal produces, such as wool and babies? Meaning, if the nifkad owns the actual animal here at Shat Mesirah, the nifkad should be entitled to whatever the animal generates from this point on. The nifkad should not be limited to mere potential payments from the ganav. Rather, the nifkad should own even that which the animal produces after Shat Mesirah, such as wool and babies. In such a case, our first premise, our rule based on the Braita is that even if he chooses to pay rather than swear, the nifkad does not own that which the animal produces. Our fact is simply that the nifkad chose to pay rather than swear. So our conclusion based on the Braita is that the nifkad does not own that which the animal produces. However, the reality of our Mishnah based on Rava's answer is that the nifkad owns the actual animal from Shat Mesirah. So how is it possible that the nifkad does not own that which the animal produces? Another way to state Rabbi Zera's Kosha is, it is difficult to say that the nifkad owns the animal from Shat Mesirah if we see that the mafkid is the owner of that which the animal produces following the kinyan. So Rabbi Zera answers and tells us that this is such a strong Kosha that we have to slightly adjust our understanding of reality again. Ela Amar Rabbi Zera, but Rabbi Zera says, Naaseh ke'omer lo, we make it as if the mafkid specifically stated an exception to the nifkad. Chutz migizoteha uvladoteha, you will be the owner of the actual para, but excluding the wool and babies. Meaning, it is as if the mafkid sells part of the animal to the nifkad. They are now partners. The nifkad buys the actual animal to the extent that he will get any payments from the ganav, but the mafkid retains some ownership. The mafkid still owns anything that the animal itself actually produces, such as wool or babies. So let's look at the details of our adjusted Mechira al Tanai. The Tanaim remain the same. In order for the sale to take place, the animal has to be stolen and the nifkad has to choose to pay. The time of sale is still retroactive to Shat Mesirah. However, the chayfetz is now part of the actual cow, not the whole cow. Based on this explanation, the Gemara asks a she'elah. Umay Pascha, why did the Chachamim rule this way? Why did the Chachamim draw the line here? Why did they make a rule that the nifkad can own the animal to the extent that there are payments for the ganav, but the mafkid retains ownership of that which the animal produces? So again, the Chachamim are looking into the mind of the mafkid. What would a reasonable mafkid prefer? How is it that the mafkid would have responded if we would have discussed all of this in advance? The Gemara then answers and says, this is what we would expect the mafkid to agree to. Stama de milta, ordinarily, shvacha de ata me'alma, avid inish de makni. A person is willing to part with income which is generated from outside sources, meaning not the animal itself. Shvacha migufa, but income that comes from his actual property, the animal, lo avad inish demakni. A person is not willing to part with so easily, meaning the reasonable mafkid is willing to trade income which might come from external sources such as a ganav, because that is not so important to him. But a person does not part as easily with income generated from the animal itself. So, let's review. Rav Zera challenges Rava's answer that the mafkid owns the animal from Shat Mesirah based on a Braita which states that the nifkad does not own that which the animal produces. The Gemara explains, it is as if the mafkid stated that he retains ownership of that which the animal produces, but not which might come from external sources such as the ganav. Finally, the Gemara explains that the Chachamim made this distinction because they felt the average mafkid is willing to give up external sources of income, but not income generated from the actual para. It was a pleasure learning with you today. Let's do it again soon.